Christmas is literally going to be here before you know it, before we know it. And I know a lot of people have been on kind of a DIY kick this year because everyone's trying to stay home a lot more. So everyone's trying to occupy themselves at home. And I just thought it would be a fun idea to create some fun little projects for you guys if you want to do some DIY Christmas gifts. So I have 3 different projects for you guys today. 2 of them are pretty simple and pretty easy, and you may have actually seen them on YouTube several times before. But sometimes it's just nice to remember what DIYs are out there so that you can remember what you can DIY for Christmas gifts. And then the third one is one that I'm really excited about, and I think it would be a super big hit with your family. So if you want to know what that is, make sure you watch until the very last DIY because I think you're gonna really like it because I really do. So with all that being said, let's just get started. Scrunchies are actually extremely popular right now, as I'm sure you all already know, but they're actually really simple to make as well. So I figured it'd be a really easy Christmas gift to make using the materials that you see here on the screen. So my original idea was to make a giant scrunchie, but I kind of undershot the material I used by a lot. So I would only use the same measurements as myself if you want to make a smaller scrunchie. But I went ahead and marked off on a piece of fabric 16 inches long as well as 6 inches wide. And then I just marked it along the length so that I didn't get like one end that was way smaller than the other and everything was super even. I drew a line and then I took my scissors and cut out the strip of fabric. And next comes your hair tie. Now you can do this one of 2 ways. You can use a regular hair tie or you can use elastic. I'm just doing the hair tie method because it's so much easier. And you're just going to take your fabric and basically sandwich the hair tie inside of the fabric and match up the ends of the fabric and hold it with a pin. I really hope that makes sense, but if you just follow along with what I'm doing on the screen, I'm sure you'll be able to do it just fine. Basically, when you're done, it looks like the scrunchie's done. It's just held together by pins, and then you want to go ahead and sew it together. You can hand sew this, but my sewing machine is way faster than my hands are, so I decided to use a sewing machine because it literally took like 2 minutes to just zip this through the sewing machine and finish sewing it. But as you can see, the seam is on the outside of the scrunchie, which is not what we want. So just fold the scrunchie over in on itself and start pulling it through so that basically you pull it inside out. And there you go, seams on the inside. Perfect, it looks great. But of course we do have one open spot, and I'm not going to use my sewing machine to close off this section just because I don't want a weird lip. So start your stitch by putting your needle in through the inside of the scrunchie and then fold over your fabric a little bit and then start doing the stitch. I probably explained that super terribly, but when you pull it tight, you get kind of like a seamless look rather than having like a weird lip. I really hope that made sense, but just follow along with what I'm doing on the screen and you should be able to get it, and just tie off your stitch when you make it all the way around and you're done. That's all you have to do to make a scrunchie. And I think it would be really fun to get creative with this and make some giant scrunchies. Use whatever material you literally have around your house. You can cut up some t-shirts, get creative with it and make everybody on your list a different kind of scrunchie. So there you go. Super easy gift.
Well, I'm all for Christmas, all the happy smiles and the wishes, and I want it all from the lights to the mistletoe. Doesn't matter if the snow is falling or the windows.
If you guys have been watching my videos since the summertime, you may remember a video I put out called DIY polymer clay earrings, and I think that would be a really fun gift that you guys could make and give to your friends and family and really customize to what they want because they're super easy to make, very inexpensive, but like there's something that people are actually going to use. But since I already made a video on that, I wanted to make a different video using the same materials. But if you do want to do the DIY clay earrings, make sure to check the description box below because I will make sure to link this video down there for you. Grab your polymer clay. I'm just using the clay that I had left over from the earring video and section off a chunk. You might want to just knead it around in your hands a little bit just to warm it up because mine's usually really hard when I first take it out of the package. And then I just rolled it into a ball and started rolling it out flat. Now you can be professional about this and use a rolling pin, but for some reason I'm still using the Captain Morgan cup. So I rolled it out flat, as you guys can see, and actually I lost some of my footage somehow. So I rolled it out flat and then I took a letter stencil. You guys don't have to use a letter. You can use whatever type of shape that you want to use, but I used a letter stencil, put it against my clay, and then I just cut around it with a butter knife. I want to do a letter stencil because I feel like this would be a really fun thing to add onto someone's Christmas present, like onto the wrapping, and then they can repurpose it as a tree ornament afterwards. So once you have your your clay stencil all cut out, you just want to bake it according to the baking directions on the package. And once it's done, it should be very hardened up. As you guys can see, I did cut a little slit in the top of mine before I started to bake it. And you might also notice that the edges are not super clean. I tried to clean them up the best I could before I baked it, but I just couldn't get it perfect. So I just took a little bit of sandpaper and decided to sand down the edges just to make sure that it wasn't like super rough and like gritty looking. You know, you want to make those edges look nice and sharp, nice and clean, like this is a good quality product that we're giving our friends here. And then you can hang it on a tree or add it to a gift and give it to someone that you love. I'm sure you guys have all heard of the game Guess Who, and if you haven't, I highly recommend Googling it before trying this DIY, but we're going to be making a DIY Guess Who game family edition. So I'm taking these wood planks that I found at the dollar store to use as the game pieces that are going to flick up and down on the game board, and I'm just using a ruler and a pencil to section off like the size that I want my game pieces to be. This is going to be different probably depending on how big of a canvas size you can find. I found a square wood canvas at the dollar store that I'm using for my game board, but normally they carry bigger ones, but I can only find the smaller ones, so my game pieces are going to be pretty small. I'm doing 4 by 5 centimeters, but like I said, you may have to switch that up just depending on what size game board you are going to be using. So I just sectioned this off so that each piece would be the exact same size, and then comes the tricky part of cutting the pieces out. I used this really weird thing that Cody gave me and let me to use, and it was really tedious and hard to cut out by hand. So I highly recommend like asking a friend or somebody who knows how to work a saw to cut these out for you, because mine ended up pretty uneven. I'm not even gonna lie, because I had to like cut them out by hand, but it still did the job. But the edges of the wood was just a little bit, you know, kind of scratchy and rough. So I just decided to sand down the edges of each game piece. Then you need 3 exact copies of pictures of your family's faces. You can print them out however you like. I decided to go for the oval look, but you can go square. You can just be creative and do whatever you want. I've seen some people on Pinterest like cut out the shape of everyone's head, which is kind of fun too. So then you want to section off your photos in the same size as your blocks. And you want to do this for each copy of the photos, because you need a copy for each game board as well as a copy for the actual game cards. So then you can just use your scissors and cut them out. I feel like I'm running out of breath, like trying to talk so fast over the voiceover, because I'm seriously not used to doing voiceovers anymore. Okay, yeah, cut them out. And then we're going to move on to the next step once they're all cut out. As you would. There's a lot of footage of me cutting out these pictures. Also, something to note that if you want to make your game cards a little bit bigger than the game pictures, feel free to do so, but I just made mine all the same size. Then I just took a little bit of Mod Podge on a paintbrush, painted it onto my game piece, and then I used that to glue and adhere the photos onto all of the game pieces. And a lot of my photos actually weren't perfectly the same size, so I did have to go in later and like trim them down with an X-Acto knife, just because my cutting job on the blocks was seriously not that great and was very uneven. So I didn't want any overhang on my pictures, so I did have to go in and trim them down afterward. Then to connect the game pieces to the game board, I found these super cute tiny little baby hinges on Amazon, which I will link in the description box below if you guys want to use them, but I just used my trusty dusty hot glue gun to adhere them to the game pieces. And you can use the little screws that it came with, but I am way too simple for that. And I figured that would take a long time. So I just used a bit of hot glue and it worked out fine for me, but you do you. You can use the screws, you do whatever you feel like doing. That's what's so awesome about doing this, is because it's super customizable. And I highly recommend before gluing your pieces onto the game board is you measure out and figure out exactly where each piece is going to go. And this can be a little bit tricky because you do have to figure out exactly where is going to be the perfect place for the piece to lay so that the piece behind it can flick up and down without hitting that one. So I just marked down on the wood where my hinge was so that I knew exactly where to put the hot glue. And then I glued down every single game piece. I found it was the easiest to glue the outside ones down first and then glue the ones in the middle. And there you have it. But as you guys can probably tell, my game board is very small, so it's much more like a mini game than the actual game, and I don't have enough room to place my game card. So I had to make my own little game card stand by cutting out a piece of wood from those wood planks and 2 pieces of the popsicle stick. I just layered the 2 pieces of popsicle sticks together and glued them to the top of the wood plank. And there you go, you have it, your family edition of Guess Who. It's super cool, and you can decorate this however you want once the game is put together. I just decided to keep mine plain, but just make sure that you make 2 of these game boards because you need 2 of them to play the game. Thank you guys so much for watching all the way to the end of this video. If you liked it, please be sure to give it a big ol' thumbs up and let me know in the comments down below if you like the voiceover. I haven't done a DIY video quite like this in a long time with just like a straight down shot and a voiceover. I just thought it might have been easier for you guys to understand what I was doing rather than me trying to like get the camera on my face and get it on the thing, and like it just sometimes gets a little bit muddled and confusing that way. So I thought maybe I would try the voiceover method just to see how it went. So let me know in the comments down below if you guys liked it this way, or if you prefer when I do it kind of like talking as I'm doing it, kind of like a live DIY type of situation. Yeah, just let me know which one you prefer because I would love to know going forward. And also let me know if you want to see more DIY Christmas gifts for this year. And with all that being said, thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys try to have a wonderful Christmas season despite everything that's going on in the world. And I will see you guys next Sunday with a brand new holiday video. I'll probably be posting only holiday videos until after January, or like until January starts. So I hope you guys like holiday videos, and you can let me know in the comments also if there's any specific holiday videos you guys want to see this year. And yeah, I will see you guys next Sunday on this channel with a brand new video, so make sure you're subscribed to see that. Feel free to subscribe to my vlog channel. Vlogmas is happening. Is it happening by the time this video goes up? I don't know, maybe it's not, but it's either happening or it's happening soon. I can't remember what day this video is going up. Yeah, I'm gonna be posting every day from December 1st to December 24th for Vlogmas this year on my vlog channel, so make sure you check that out, as well as semi-daily on Instagram and TikTok for some photo inspiration. So make sure you check me out on there, and I will see you guys then.